نعم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. To Mr. Khalid, the Assistant Academic Registrar, Member General Assembly, Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, in absentia. To Mr. Khalid, the librarian and staff administrator, GULU University. To Mr. Amin, the accountant, university accountant, and at the same time the patron, Imam Jafar, Masjid Nur, GULU, executive, the GULU District Executive Council, the GULU University Muslim Students Association, AL-HIDAAYA Islam Media, led by Engineer Rajab, university students here, college students here, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you all. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May His peace and blessings be showered upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the one who fought tooth and nail for Islam to get to every corner of the world. I request Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow unto us and him His full blessings and mercy, and to whoever is to follow his footsteps until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. I'm personally humbled to be part of you guys today. And my wish is, how I wish I would try to extend my stay here so that I enjoy the beautiful faces around. Matter of fact, you guys, even when you're faking the smiles, you're good at that. So what I'm reading out of those smiles is nothing but being genuine to our visit here. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you that being genuine into your personalities. Allahumma ameen. Secondly, we had a discussion with the executive members, and we thought it wise to have this episode of the Islamic Dating and Marriage series, GULU edition, this time round here with you guys. And we are going to discuss the whole gender crisis and the gender war situation. But normally, before we even proceed with the lecture, I normally throw out a question to the audience to just check the level of, the comprehensive level of my audience and how you approach stuff. Now, at least I will need two gentlemen and two ladies to answer, to submit something about this concern. What do you think is causing the hatred between the genders? In an angle, why do men talk bad and ill about ladies? Why do you hate ladies? If you're given a chance to say something about what is causing that hate to the ladies, why do you think as ladies you have nothing good to say about the men today? What is causing that hate? Have you understood the question? Yes, I think let's throw something about that. What is causing this whole hatred? You need to get married, you need to start up families, but at the same time you're hating each other. When you visit the social media algorithms, you'll get to understand that ladies, there is a lot of many statements that are built onto hatred as they are speaking about you. The same applies with men. When you're given a chance to talk about ladies, there is a lot of statements you're going to say out built on hatred as you're discussing and talking about the ladies. What's the reason of that? Please. The first gentleman is there. Who is the second one? The second one is there. The two ladies. Lady number one. The second lady. Sister Maimuna. Yes, brother. Yes. Do you hate ladies?
Personally, I don't, because I have my mom who is the lady, my sisters, And I'm also expecting to have daughters. I have no reason.
It's a beautiful one. Why do you think is causing this whole hatred between, from our side to the ladies? Why do you think men hate ladies and talk ill about them?
So as a matter of fact, according to the way I'm in the view of this point, it has come a point whereby we have trended away from the Islamic teaching and norms. And after abandoning it, we went on to adapt the Western culture, whereby we all know that once we obey Allah and His Messenger, we shall live the best life ever. But as a result of us abandoning what we should be doing to have a good life and going for the Western culture, we found ourselves suffering the repercussions of this. And in this, we've had that feeling of not wanting each other. And in the end case, we are having scenarios whereby people are resorting to live out marriage, whereby someone to satisfy his or her sexual desires maybe just goes for prostitutes, or having this thing of boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe, or getting a girl or a boy for sex, and life continues. So conclusively, as I shouldn't take much of the time, I'm seeing this relying more on abandoning the Islamic teachings and adapting the Western culture, and thus we are suffering the consequences of this. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu
alaikum. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. The second brother was, the other. Yes. What's causing this reality? Why do men speak ill about ladies?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My name is Sozi Huzaifa.
Yes.
A student of GULU College of Health Sciences. My view concerning why ladies hate gents and why gents hate ladies, I think it is due to competition.
You guys are competing with them?
Yes. The reason we have failed to to associate with each other like in harmony, so we tend to want to compete with each other. So that causes the hatred.
What kind of competition? Would you cite an example?
For example, I will begin from the ladies' side. There is what we call women emancipation.
What's that?
Like, ladies tend to demand the equal rights with men.
That's why you hate them?
That's why they end up hating us. Now, for the gents, they fail to understand the qadar of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So whenever they see a lady whom Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has raised in rank, they hate them.
Like
because they wish that it should not be a lady, it should be a man. Yeah, that's it.
So they hate them unfairly like that.
Yeah, they fear to see like ladies being raised in status in the presence of men, so they hate them.
MashaAllah.
So that causes the hatred on both sides.
MashaAllah. Barakallahu feekum. Please, gents, that's the last gentleman speaking. If these ladies start now, because they might throw a lot of statements against you. Let's start with, who was the first? The certain sister. Yes. Yes, sister. Why do you hate men?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I think there is that hatred between ladies think there is that hatred between ladies and gents because of the experiences from the past relationships. If a woman, like, sorry to say this, but nowadays people are dating start dating at a younger age, and in that process, they experience heartbreaks, and that person who experiences a heartbreak, he or she is going to start getting negative impressions about relationships, and in that process, she's going to develop that feeling that all men are the same, all women are the same.
So basically, when this young girl starts relating with gents at an early stage, she's heartbroken, and at the end result, she hates men because of that.
Yeah, I think because, if there is that trust, thinking that the person is your everything, and in the process,
Yes.
Remember, I used the word dating at an early age. Yeah, dating at an early age. Like that ignorance, thinking that the person is the everything, without him or her. That person, if she or he experiences a heartbreak, she's going to be psychologically and emotionally tortured.
Thus hating men.
Thinking that they are all the same.
Okay, so basically, this young girl is innocently hating men because of an experience one man made her go through.
Yeah.
Is it fair? Is it fair to throw that hatred to every man because of... It's unfair, eh? Yes.
You cannot blame that person because of the trust she had in that past relationship.
She's not in control. Okay. Barakallahu fikum. Yes, Sister Maimuna. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hello. It's not working.
Yeah.
My first view on that, as to why women may hate men, or as to why men may hate women. First of all, it's all about the religion. In which way? That you will experience a relationship, you are in a relationship of different religions. You're having Peter and you're Aisha. You get? Peter wants something, Aisha wants something. Peter wants to take alcohol, Aisha doesn't want to take alcohol. And at the end of it all, that disagreement, then it comes along within your relationship, and you end up being like, me I hate men because of this and this, they behave like this, they like to take alcohol, what and what. Then another thing is all about the family background. Guys, if you have ever seen a family where a dad beats up a mom every day, morning, evening, even the father doesn't have the manners, whether the children are there or are not there, he will come and be like, Mama Gundi, what's going on here? Why are these things all like this? You're insulting a lady in that way, without giving her respect in the sight of her children. So the family backgrounds, people get that my father used to behave like this, and you end up being like, maybe all men are like that. And at the end of it all, you end up being like, I won't get married because men behave like this and this. And then another reason as to why ladies may hate men, it's all about the personal grievances. Or you can say jealousness. Ladies have a lot of jealousness and envy. That is on record. Ladies, they have envy and jealousness. It is at a higher rate. You get? So you be there, you be like, the man is supposed to be mine alone. And then you end up knowing that we are three in a relationship. And of those three, you are the one who is not what? Who is not halal. You're haram. You get? So, due to all those grievances, you be like, you expect a lot from a man. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know yourselves, guys. So,
So, like, this hatred, ladies hate men because these men put these ladies together in one relationship.
yeah, in one relationship, but the main cause is that a lady be there and be like, I'm alone on my man, which is impossible these days. You get, yeah? You never get a man who is yours alone.
Wegamba, your campaign is these ladies should start accepting the reality.
Yeah, that no man is for one lady. All men were created to have more than one what? One lady. So you should accept that defeat. And
Why are you not clapping for her? Yes.
And then another reason, it is the emotional expression. The emotional expression here comes in when a lady is too emotional. The emotional can be in verbal, facial, and even language. You get here? There are some people, for them, their emotion, even like a small thing like this, can make them cry. Even if you be like, but why don't you do this and this? You cry, and even you start saying, the man is like this, my man abuses me. And what? Though he was telling you the right thing, then you end up hating what? Hating that man.
Unfairly.
Yeah. Then another reason is the societal norms, culture expectations, and then the personal experiences. The societal norms here may come in that there is a society where men they don't respect women in a manner that a lady should be respected. They are seeing them as minors, as a by the way. So if a lady goes to some other areas where women are highly respected and given their rights, that lady will be like, at our culture or at our society, ladies are not supposed to do this and this. They are just taken as minors. They are taken as kids. What and why? They are there just to produce and even take care of the home. You get? So if that person is expressed to or is exposed to a certain place where ladies can even go to work, they can even like, they own that sense of human. So when she comes back this side, she'll be like, but men this side, so that woman end up hating men.
MashaAllah, barakallahu fikum. Before I even proceed, I want to speak to one man from this region, Acholi region, and one lady from Acholi region. Do we have any? Please. Wabaganye mumujeyo. Don't we? I only have one simple question. I want to get that reality check from this region when it comes to this gender war crisis. Do we have an Acholi man here that was raised in this region? We don't have any? Maybe a lady? Yes. Let me start with the sister. Please give us a picture in a minute when it comes to the gender roles, gender wars in this sub-region.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Rahima Saidi, and I've been born and I've grown all my life here.
MashaAllah.
So, in northern Uganda, speaking, especially GULU where I've been, I've grown seeing that, yes, the gender differences is quite vast between the genders, in a way that you see that, yes, once a man marries you, that's the nikah, and you become his wife. You find that, okay, one thing I've seen, you may forgive me, but the truth is,
you are protected, don't worry.
Once you're now the wife, that is it. Now you have you give birth, you take care of the home and all that. But then, as a couple, as we see the world is advancing, we need attention, we need the care, the love and what. But that is something I have grown up not seeing.
Within the GULU men?
Yes. That is true. Don't laugh. That's the truth. And that's why most people, most of the ladies, if a man comes and the person is from this side, the person starts talking to you, we already have that perception in us. We start thinking, now if I'm to say yes to this man, yes, he's going to marry me and he's going to put me there at home and all that, but that is not enough. You see, we need, yes, as my man, you have to be there for me and all that, provide, protect me, show me the love and care. But no, here, as long as you're at home with the kids and all that, that is it.
Lastly, how would you like GULU men to take care of their wives?
Okay, for that, people, my simple advice is if GULU men or gentlemen, I would request that learn to at least be a bit romantic, care for your wives and all that. Because the truth is, no, wait. No, I'm not being harsh, I'm not being mean. But truth is, I've been in the central and of other regions. Trust me, those men there, they take care of their wives. They really do take care of their wives, so that even though a man comes to them at this time, you'll find that a girl will say yes to the man and she will never regret that decision. Okay. But now, as if you say yes to a man at this time, a point in time will come, then you'll be like, why did I do this? Why did I say yes? But now you know, once you've entered marriage, sometimes there is no point of coming back.
MashaAllah.
So that is it.
Barakallahu fikum. One last gentleman to speak for the GULU men. Do we have any? Yes, we have the brother here. The first, the brother here. Yes. Yes, brother. Represent us well. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.
Wa alaikum assalam wa
To me, as a real Achole boy, what I know, all our grandfathers, traditionally, I think they were Islam. Because if you see in the tradition, all our grandfathers, they had more than 2 wives. And that is what ladies don't like nowadays. So our girls here, they want 1 man, 1 woman. Which is not a culture in our culture. Those days, you find in a home, like the whole of this faculty is for 1 man, you will be having like 5, 6 women, of which all of them will be loving him the same way. But nowadays, you try bringing 2 wives, you see war there. So that is what is bringing the problem.
Okay.
So my humble request to our ladies, accept the culture.
But why? How would you respond to a sister's claim that GULU men are not caring?
Okay, to me, for us we care more. We care more. But ladies don't see that.
So
they don't see that.
You care, but they don't see that caring.
They don't see. So my advice to you ladies, accept the culture, advise us to marry more than 2 wives so that you see the love. Assalamu alaikum.
Lastly, brother, before you sit, what's the role of a GULU man from the cultural bit? Like, what's the responsibility of a man in this region? What does a man do?
Okay, our responsibility, we are supposed to provide, like, bring food to the table, pay school fees, and yeah, marry more wives. That is what I know. So that is it. Thank you.
Barakallahu fikum, barakallahu fikum. Thank you for a beautiful submission. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advance us all in knowledge. Allahumma ameen. I would like to prepare my audience today that this whole gender crisis is a reality, a sad reality happening today. Now, the reason as to why I wanted to prioritize this topic for this session was I want us to get to a discussion, a scholarly one, to get to appreciate our cultural differences and the sad reality happening today. Matter of fact, if you go through the social media, if you go through some different discussions here and there, you will find that there are even drives that are being created as a result of this whole gender war crisis. The men's rights story, there are very many foundations that are backing up the men's rights. Women's rights story, when we talk of feminism, the red pill story, like there's a lot that is happening. And guess what? We are all igniting this sad reality, and it's really going to affect us. Now, I want to prepare my audience today with the following factors. Factor number one, let's get to understand that we are created to irritate each other. If we give you this microphone right now to just write down and list down how a lady irritates you as a man, you have a lot to write down. If we give you the microphone as a young girl, as a lady, as a wife, to just write down how a man irritates you, definitely you can write down a lot. Now that is a reality that we are supposed to appreciate, that was put within us because we are different, for God's sake. We don't reason the same, we don't think the same, we were not engineered the same. Now that is a reality. Reality number two, because of people are not aware of these whole realities, that's why they are victimized in these sad realities when they happen. Now, factor number two, the negativity as a result of this whole gender war story is engineered by both men and women. We are to take up the responsibility, the blame. We are victims of this hard, sad reality. The reason as to why this hatred is there, it's because of what a man does. The reason as to why this hatred is there, it's because of what a woman does. In an angle, that when a man is trying to be toxic, definitely you're going to treat your lady in a more unfair way. At the end result, she is going to hate you, and the ladies in her social circle are going to hate you. When this lady treats you unfairly, does a lot to make sure she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, definitely it's going to be the reason as to why you hate ladies. The single comrades here, the reason as to why you're single, you're even afraid of getting into marriage. Because possibly whoever is married is not even portraying this good picture for you. Now, don't you really think it's something that is really going to affect our social stands and maybe standards in that angle? It's because of that. We are to blame equally. The reason as to why ladies, let me cite an example. These are some of the signs that denote that the last day of judgment is just close. 50 years back, 100 years back, the level of mercy we had as men towards them was just top-notch. Today, the more we live, the more it's getting down. and it's a threat for a lady. Now, this world can never be a good place for a woman, for a lady, if at all there is no man protecting, ready to protect and do a lot to see that she's protected. And that's why the violence as compared to this whole gender war story, the violence based on these gender stories, it's high. Many girls are raped because they lack protection from you guys. Maybe they are defining it in an angle. A simple example, it only took a lady to scream 50 years back, and all of us would check out to be eager to protect them. Today, before you even go and protect them, you'd be like, probably it's a trap. She is crying out for me to go there so that I'm robbed. True or false? Now, is that good for a lady? Is that good for a daughter? Definitely no. The world is becoming unsafe for a lady day by day. Don't you really think we need this session? To make sure we are guided so that this community, the community of Muslims, is guided to make sure we are not victims of that sad reality if it happens. Now, we are to blame equally as to why this hatred is there. Men have contributed a lot to the reason as to why you're hated, and ladies, you've contributed a lot to the reason as to why you've hated. And the problem is to always think that there must be a sign that is going to take the victory. When you're talking about this gender difference, please appreciate that both of you can be right even in your different angles. Also appreciate that it is not a must that you're supposed to reason the same because you're technically different. Now, when you're talking and you're approaching a topic as a lady, it might not be the same approach I'm going to give it as a man. Maybe when you're trying to talk as a lady, you might prioritize being too much emotional because you're queens of emotions. As a man, you won't take the emotional side. You're going to give that approach that is too much logical because you're a man, for God's sake. Now, my point I'm trying to make is we are all to blame. The reason as to why this hatred is there, and it's not healthy for us. Thirdly, the social stability is attacked by this reality. Now, you don't know how many marriages are failing because of people having this whole gender war situation. To get to a point where basically a man doesn't know what to do and a lady doesn't know what to do. At the end result, come on, you're going to have a failing marriage. Do you know how many people are going through the single parenting story because of this whole gender war story? Because if you're in marriage, you'll have to understand that if at all you're having that gender war story, a war that is based on gender, trust me, you will never win it as a man, you will never win it as a woman. It's like basically trying to win a battle where you have no accolades to even win it and go through it. Now, matter of fact is, our social stability is attacked with this sad reality. The single parenting story. Do you know how many people are not even ready? Our young girls and young men, they are not ready to even start families because of that biasness they have as compared, or maybe as a result of what they believe in. Definitely it's a lot. How many married people are here? Raise up the hand. Only one. Definitely we are all married this side, apart from Sheikh Sagala. Are you also married? Now, in the audience, I'm only having one man that is married. What are you young men waiting for? Now, you will find the unserious man who is going to be like, I don't want to marry because ladies are thieves. I don't want to marry because ladies bayai. I don't want to marry because ladies, I don't want stress. You are still younger mentally. That stress is healthy for you as a young man. You need that stress to make sure you go to another level. Now, how many young girls there are married? Raise up the hand. This is your market. Marry them. From here, call the parents, marry them. You are single and they are also single. what I'm trying to say is our social stability is attacked as a result of this gender war story. Young girls and young boys, young men are not even prioritizing family setup in a more Islamic legal way because of that hatred they have onto the other opposite gender. The single parenting story. You know what is happening today? Single fathers, single mothers, and if you ask one of them, if you ask a single father the reason as to why he is single, chances are high he's going to talk ill about the lady. If you ask a single mother, come on, she's going to definitely speak ill about a man. Now, our society is going to be attacked for years if at all we don't address that. Check out the divorce rate. The rising divorce rate. That's why I'm even too sensitive. Where am I putting my face when it comes to nikah? It's like you're basically trying to insinuate that Islam is calling you to just enter into marriage and stay there for a year and then divorce. Because you're academicians, you know very well the number one primary reason as to why the divorce rate is always going up, it's because of this gender war story. The lady you're trying to marry as a wife is having that gender war within her mind, and she's not having this discussion elsewhere. Definitely you're going to part ways. Is it even healthy for your kids? Every son and daughter would prioritize to stay under a father and a mother, even with that difference. Now that's why we need this discussion. Now our Islamic wisdom came to make sure it guides us to appreciate what is going on today, and to make sure we bring the Islamic wisdom, we mix it with this sad reality to make sure we are not victimized in it. Rather, we are shining out of it because we are a society that is always guided. Principle number one, Allah intended to create us as male and female differently. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. Allah is like, come on, a man is not like a woman. We are different, totally different. We are different psychologically, physiologically we are different, our intellect is different. Like, we are not the same, and that is what our Creator is trying to tell us. Now, because you're victims of love, and as a result of whatever factors is influencing your love, you guys think just because you're in marriage, you need to reason the same. Who told you that? The fact that you're a man and you're a woman, it's a load. It's just enough to understand that you're different. And wallahi, your Creator knows that. Your strength as a man is not the strength of a woman. The strength of a woman is not your strength. Isn't that enough for you to understand that we don't even need this whole competition between genders? This whole drives feminism, women emancipations, men, now today even men have started. Men rights, men, boy child D, conferences are like conferences. Like, what are you competing for? We are not the same. It's like you're trying to teach people, is a cat and a hen the same? Is a lion and a goat the same? Would you even try to even confuse yourself and to try in a debate between how a cat views the world and how a lion views the world? As a man, if you reason as a lady, it's a threat to your manhood. If you're not sensitive in this whole gender war, you're the same man that is going to shame us into being a man. As a lady, if at all you reason and do everything like a man, you're losing the beauty in being a female. Because your point of attraction is that femininity, being a woman. Now, because of that, people don't know that we are different, and it's the design of Allah in that angle. We are not going to reason like the same. We are not going to understand everything the same. Possibly, even our angle of analyzing stuff is going to be totally different. Now, if you appreciate that reality, that verse is only enough. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كالأنثى. Allah's strength, as he was trying to put strength in a man, he knew that there is a lady. Now you know what is happening today? As young girls that are at university, just in years, you're another generation of people that are influencing society. What does it take to be a woman in a society? Now, Islam is coming in to be like, even when you're in the drives of feminism, the drives of women emancipation, it's very okay if you're fighting for your rights. Very okay. But please don't forget your number one role, because we are different, remember. Now, it doesn't add up for a woman to be like, a man is not protecting, a man is not providing, yet in first place, you're not even positioning yourself to fit the titles of this man. Does it add up? Do you know how hard it is to provide to a lady who is not basically a wife? Have you ever tried that? Do you know how painful it is to protect? As a man, you prioritize your family because you do a lot to make sure your family is protected from any harm, even when it means taking your life. Islam is like, you're a martyr if you die protecting your wife and family. Are you ready to die for your wife? Really today? You don't have the response. Yes? You don't have the response and you're going to marry. Don't you really think, as a Muslim guided society, we need this guidance to just appreciate, wallahi, our beauty is in our difference. Because you don't need a lady who behaves as a man even when you're trying to empower them. And the problem is, because our economy is unstable, actually today it is even stable, because many of us are having this poor background in our stories, we are influenced by the financial stability to even dictate our gender roles. True or false? But Allah is like, we are different. A man is not as a woman. وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرْ كَالْأُنْثَى. Your problems as a man are not at one point a problem of a woman. You need to think for your family when you're at home. You need to think for your family even after you die. You're designed to be that. As a woman, you have your strength too. Now, I am a man, but I have no problem with your whole producing story. It is okay. Even when Allah gives me a chance and it's like, please Hussein, would you like to go through the 9-month story? Are you powerful enough to go through it? I would say, like, Allah, let me pray 2 rakas. Please don't give me that story. Leave it to those ladies. How many of you can go through that? Now, Allah trying to put that distinction between us, it wasn't trying to put a claim that one is better than the other. No. For us to appreciate the difference, that the beauty in a woman is the fact that they are different from you, and the beauty in you is the fact that you're different from them. The moment you realize that that is a reality and it's a fact, that's when you will start reasoning and thinking and behaving as a woman. You're going to lose attraction for your woman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that understanding. Now, that's a factor we really have to understand before we even bring out the Islamic guidance. Because we are different, our hormones are different, our intellectual capacities are different, our reasoning capacities are different, our strength are different. All of that puts us in different positions. Now, Islam definitely brought up the door of responsibility. The difference in responsibility roles are also vital to note in this difference. Now, matter of fact, we are different as men and female. We need to understand that Allah designed us differently like that, and He gave us roles in our difference. I'm going to only use one verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically tried to remind us our roles in our society, to just make sure we don't lose track as a community, we don't lose track as an Islamic fraternity, to make sure we are living this whole life, even with this crisis we are going in, we go through it in a more harmonious way. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Now, it's today where we are even sensitive when we are trying to speak out the roles of each gender respectively. Okay, what is the role of a man in a community, in a family? To protect and provide. Protecting and providing basically means you're going to protect your family even when it means your life being taken. Providing basically means you're going to provide for your family even when you're happy and sad about them, they're making you upset, you still keep the discipline of protecting them. Is it your role or not? You know that, right? What is the role of a woman in a society? What? Producing. Is it the only one? What is the role of a woman in a society? Care. Now let me give you this background. Islam is a religion that probably anticipated that we might get in times where this whole gender war story is going to affect us. That's why we have this guidance in our religion. Guidance number one, Islam prepared you as a man by trying to give you an attribute, al-qiwama. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa. When you visit the Arabic literal meaning of the word qawwamuna, it basically has a lot of meanings under it. Amongst them, commitment is part of it, providing is part of it, protecting is part of it. Just branding yourself as a leader to your family is also part of it. Now it's like Allah is trying to be like, the fact that a man is different from a lady, the fact that we are built differently, we are designed differently, we are not going to approach everything like the same, but at least primarily, let everyone just appreciate their roles in a society so that probably it continues to guide them as they proceed and as they live in the world. Now, even when we have different cultures, even when we have different understandings, different reasoning capacities, a role of a man will still keep being a role of a man, to protect and provide for a family. Now that is your role as a responsibility. A role of a lady, the other way around, was to nurture and harbor a society. From the Islamic wisdom, it's like Allah put within the ladies the power to just harbor the next generation. The power is in them. And what normally confuses me, and this is my primary problem with whoever is coming up with any drive trying to just misguide the young girls instead of just giving the reality to them. How many young ladies are taking the role of being a mother as something good and credible? And how many are mothers here right now? Because probably you're in your 20s, early 20s, you know. How many are mothers here? Ladies. It's only one. But Islam trained us to understand your role as a man is to protect and serve, or maybe and provide for your family. As a lady, the beauty in a woman is to appreciate the role that Allah granted. Actually, out of accreditation, Allah provided this to the ladies, and to me, I get to a point of being envious to them. They don't know how valuable they are. This whole world is being impacted by them. They don't know. The young kids, the young children of tomorrow, the young stars of tomorrow are being trained and harbored by them. If we need disciplined men tomorrow, if we need disciplined daughters tomorrow, we deal with them. Now it confuses me in a way where a lady is not even prioritizing her role. It's like finding a man who is going to be like, I'm not ready to protect my family, I'm not ready to provide for my family, but let me try to wash dishes at home. Does that make you a man? Definitely no. Now when a lady is running away from being a mother, is finding, and I want to actually clarify this, because our young students today now, you're not good, your literature is actually too questioning. You don't read about your cultures here, and you're fed with realities that are actually attacking your cultures here, trying to think that your culture is backward and other cultures are way far than your culture. That's where you're going to find a man and a lady trying to say like, those ladies of long ago, they had no option. Actually, today, we are now outside the world. Because we are in positions of leadership, we are in positions of working, which is okay. Islam is not stopping you from that. But Islam is like, please, as you're prioritizing your career, as you're here as a young girl, don't forget your role. And that's why many are losing out in marriages, because probably they are engineered to counteract with the reality, and yet you're not ready to take them for those positions. Now, many ladies think that today their grandmothers were backward because they were at home. It actually happened on the reign of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what happened. Umar radiallahu anhu one day marched to the Prophet, because remember the migration that was from Makkah to Medina. Now, ladies in Makkah, because Makkah was a hostile region, many battles, ladies used to find peace under their men and under male figures in their families. Now, chances were high that in the Makkah story, you will rarely find women empowered in the Makkah story, because wars were still there, tribal wars, conflicts here and there. And whenever wars are there, we know socially, women are not on the front line. They'll always be behind the backs of men who are responsible, not you. Now, that's why in Makkah, there are no drives of women being empowered. Check the Medina story. Women were empowered. They used to speak, move around in peace, because the two societies, the students of sociology, you know, when peace is there, a lot is just at peace. Movements are not even restricted, just like in battles. Even when the government senses that there is insecurity in a place, they would even bring out the curfew deal now to just make sure everyone is designated to their places of residence. Now in Medina it was the opposite. You know what Umar went? Umar went to the Prophet and was like, Ya Rasulallah, are you also seeing the difference that our ladies that we traveled with from Makkah to Medina, they are just outspoken in Medina? The freedom is just a lot. They are speaking a lot. Aren't you missing the silence? They are too much silent when they were in Makkah. Guess, out of the intelligence of the Prophet, out of the wisdom of the Prophet, he never took a side. He wasn't like, Omar, you're right, our ladies are just too much nowadays. Neither did he be like, actually, the situation in Makkah was better. He was just, in Sharia, we are like at tawaqquf. Prophet just made it silent. He was like, okay. Keeping silent without even drawing a statement to either way. Now, do you know what that means? You learn to appreciate that the difference that in Makkah, it was a war zone. ladies were definitely supposed to be in homes. That is your culture here. Your grandmother, the power of your grandmother was to nurture your father. That's why you're a sensible man today. Isn't that success? You're trying to call them failures? Definitely no. Who are failures vis-a-vis today? How many young kids are not disciplined courtesy of irresponsible parents? And wallahi al-azim, your challenges are totally different. Let me bring a scenario for you. In the angle of being responsible. Because you're a responsible man, trust me, a responsible man will always look for that femininity in a woman. And a lady who is not taking interest into appreciating the role, just like you did appreciated your role to protect, even when your wife is abusing you, even when she's disrespecting you, you don't put down the hand of providing and protecting. You still protect them even when you're not in the same line. If at all you feel like you don't need to protect them anymore, the door of divorce is open. You let them be without even violence action. Now that is the Islamic guidance. Vis-a-vis the other way around. If a lady is in the house marriage setting, a responsible man is looking for a woman in you. Now, because I'm in the same generation with you, go with me in this scenario. A man who is responsible is not going to allow you to spend your money. Do you like that as a wife? Yeah, because your money is your money, and your man's money is actually your money. A responsible man this side is a man that is not going to pick interest in your money because he knows his role is to provide and protect. That's a fact, right? I'm representing responsible men, not men who are looking for ladies with money. Your session will be another session, please. Today is a session for responsible men. A responsible man is a man that is not going to let any card unturned in his family because he's responsible. He's a man that will want to know, where is my wife at this particular moment? He's a man that is going to want to know, where are you going? Are you even safe there? Is that the responsibility or not? You say yes, see. Do you like that as a man or no? Musirise. The third issue is the responsibility. Out of the responsibility of a man is a man who is going to be in position to navigate through these four titles. As a father in a house, as a leader in a house, as a joker, because you don't need a very serious man for a leader. And lastly, you need a man who has a skill to know when to be a joker, to know when to be a leader, to know when to be a serious leader of your family. Do you need that or not? You need it, right? Now, that is when we talk the responsibility of men. Now, as sisters, do you really think a man who doesn't even pick interest in your income, why would he even take it as a plus when you're working? Because a responsible man you're looking for is not even bothered with your 1M you're trying to put as income. Because even when you want to buy something in the house, he's going to be like, no. Your money is your money. This is my home, don't buy. That is a responsible man. The problem, you don't have responsible men. Now, it's like I'm just setting out a movie. But a responsible man is that. But now, even the other way around, do you know what it means? Like, seriously, I know I have ladies who are my age mates and they are not too much young. Are you sure it wouldn't burden you as a lady who is earning to be closed, not to spend on your house in marriage? Would you like that? Would you like that? You're earning 4M a month. You're looking for this responsible man who is not interested in your money. And he's going to be like, even when you want to buy a TV screen, I don't want to find anything in my house, not from my pocket. Leave my tuition for my kids, even when they are at school and they are sent back at home, don't pay your money. It is my money. That is the language of responsible men. But your sentence amwe. Now, chances are high because of that difference, you're going to end up getting involved with irresponsible men. This is the whole 50-50 story. Because you're branding yourself to attract an irresponsible man who is going to buy interest in your other secondary accolades instead of just basically getting attracted from your primary role, basically being a woman. Now that's why you're not even finding a wife to marry. How many ladies are engineered to just handle a man who is stressful? What course unit is that in your course? Don't you need it? Do you need it or not? Do you know how difficult it is to be a wife who is a peace giver in a home, who is an effective mother, effective working because you're going to work tomorrow? Do you know how hard it is to balance 3 titles at the same time? An effective worker because you have a career, effective mother because you have young ones, and lastly, an effective wife. Have you thought of that reality? Because that's the reality that you're going to enter in. Don't we need those discussions today? Because as a man, they are ready, they know their role. But they just want to get attracted from the femininity point of view. Now, to you, you're thinking that this responsible man is going to want me with my job. If a man comes to you and they're asking you, how much do you earn? You say out, I earn 1 million. And he's smiling. It is a red flag. And then tomorrow, the same man is going to be like, I don't have money, you buy for a month. And then you're trying to blame Allah. You're like, Allah, I requested you for a responsible man. Responsible men are attracted to ladies they are capable of protecting and providing. They don't look for counterparts the other way around. Now, why am I saying this? It's as a result of this gender war story. I want you to quote me well. Prioritize your career. Get a first-class degree, but please understand, if you want to be a mother tomorrow, it's a discussion you really want to go through. Because a responsible man, Okuja Kongo, you want an irresponsible man, they are there also. Wallahi, they are here. If you want a responsible man, they are here with us. You get attached to, you start up a family with those irresponsibility, irresponsible wife, irresponsible husband, you go in your marriage. But if you want a responsible man, that alone would be something you really have to get to discuss with them to make sure the gender roles are given. Now, Islam wants to prepare our society in that angle. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the best. Now, because this community, the generation of ours, I would say chances are high we happen to be a confused generation. That's why we are going to be victims of this whole story. And as a young man, I would just give the Islamic piece of advice to you, and I'm like, please, try your level best to represent us well. Now, it's not easy to be a man. Your levels of patience really have to be high. Your patience is not compared to the patience of your wife. The gender war story is going to train you to check, my wife, she's not patient. Nang, I'm not supposed to also be that patient. Come on, you're not a man. Your levels of tolerance are supposed to be engineered also, elevated at some point. Because the sweetness in this, when your wife is pregnant, She doesn't look well, matter of fact. Because you never married them because of that side. And some ladies, their looks change vigorously as they are pregnant. True or false? Now, we don't need a woman in your being a man, because a woman in your being a man is going to be like, you don't look good, please let me go away. The levels of tolerance and patience for you as a man is to stick by her side, committed, even with the reality that she is stressing in that situation. That's a man you need. Now, when we are like, please, your levels of tolerance have to be high. Maybe the hormones in your wife are going to change as they are pregnant. They are not even aware what they are going to do as they are pregnant. The assurance, the protection is, you assure them that your levels of tolerance, your levels of patience are not on the pace of ladies. If they are on that pace, definitely you wouldn't be a man. The patience in a way, one day as you get married, your woman is going to abuse and disrespect you. True or false? True. Because they are emotional beings. Maybe she's going to get upset there and then, and she's going to say one statement that is going to break your personality for a year. But you're not going to chase them back home. You will prioritize the greater good out of that, because she's technically the mother of your kids. Now that's a man Islam is trying to build up. And if you take up your role as that, you're doing us proud. Even with the gender war story, please just make sure you are a man. Even when you're in line with this woman who is not good, who is not respectful, it is okay. Just detach from her. Continue being that, because that's what makes you a man. You're not like a woman. And because of that, that's why she's attracted to you. Only that she doesn't know. Actually, we have a couple here. The reason as to why you got together, it's because you behaved like a woman. That's why she loved you. And you're smiling in that couple. You don't know that when serious comes in, you're now in marriage. That is not a field for people who are just starting to act. It's a reality check. These discussions you're in, I don't wash plates, I don't cook, I can't be there, I can't kneel. Those are young discussions to just make you busy right now, because when you enter in marriage, reality check comes in. Now I understand Islam the other way around even designed a lady to remind them their roles. This is what we are doing today, to make sure there is no a clash between the Muslims, male and female gender story. Leave that war elsewhere in a community that is not guided, but for us, we are guided. Our mothers and grandmothers staying at home and taking good care of your father, that's why you're a sensible kid today. Chances are high, we have very many kids, the Gen Z story, that are as a result of single parenting, single father and single mother. That's your wife to be tomorrow. Now, you really want to say that a child who grew up when a father and mother is around is technically the same as a child who grew up with a single father? Definitely no. Which is very okay, because this is all our realities, but it's a reality that is happening for you to get lessons. Now Islam is like, no, we are not failures then. What we need to do is to copy the good and make sure your title as a lady is just untouched. It is too hard to be an effective wife and an effective mother and an effective working lady. And I normally give advice to my university girl students. And I'm like, Because of this whole wisdom, why do you even prioritize being employed? Why don't you create your own jobs? That's where your peace is. I can't just imagine my wife having a boss who is going to be like, Zuku sawa kumi, wake up at 4, go out and come back at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. I am a loser as a husband. You don't just make my wife a slave like that, and I'm a man in a picture. No. What I'm supposed to do is to make sure my lady is empowered, to make sure she's not in that. That is my role, and that's the true sense of providing. Your ego, your reputation is down because of the wives. You are earning 2 million, 2 M a month. Why is your wife working on a job where she's going to be paid 200 Ugandan shillings? 200. You're smiling, and you're also smiling that you have a husband. And if you ask this husband, he's like, you know, it is a working situation here. A lady who is not working, they don't reason. They don't reason. Since when does the working situation in Uganda contribute on the reasoning capacity of someone? How do we reason stuff now? As a man who is young, you would prioritize and be like, oh Allah, please open the doors of rizq for me. If I'm having some good money on a monthly basis, on a fortnight basis, the small income I'm having, you will have a discipline of empowering your lady financially to make sure she doesn't attack your reputation. That's why creating your own jobs comes in. Because if you're having your own job, it basically means you're the own boss. At least employ others. This is what Khadija radiyallahu anha was. How many of you approach the story of Khadija in that way? You really think Khadija was going on to the horses and trying to move into the scorching sunshine and trying to go through the hard times? No. She was a boss lady who was good at administering business, a manager in a sense that she even had workers. She used to sit home, a boss doing the whole accounting at home, the whole managing of the business at home, at the end result of every caravan. And she was an effective mother because she's the only lady that produced credible 6 kids to the Prophet. Only her. That means she was just a perfect, effective mother, a perfect business lady, and lastly, a perfect wife. And that's why she's in Jannah today. Why are you undermining those responsibilities? Now, there's a young lady struggling with being an effective wife and at the same time being an effective mother. Is it possible today for a mother to be a mother to a kid, and a kid prioritizes being a friend to a maid rather than being a friend to a mother? It is very possible. Because a mother is not in a picture. Now, you don't want a kid who doesn't respect you as a mother, as an infant. That is going to be your son or maybe daughter tomorrow. Now, Islam is like, no, the gender wars are there, but we have the beauty in ourselves. Let us exalt our levels of working, our pole positions. It's very okay, leadership story. It's very okay. That is very easy. Just learning, get a degree, well positioned, start leading people. It's very achievable. A family setup is not too obvious. There's a lot of hard work there. Now, when the Prophet is like, خِيَارُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ, the best amongst you is the best to their own people, male or female. As a man, you have a lot of reasons to be here and smiling. Maybe just like I'm here. I have very many reasons to smile and act being a friendly one. I'm too open, because I'm in public. Chances are high, even when I'm sad, it is my family to take me through that. Now the Prophet is like, no. Because you have a reason to be happy outside, don't let that be for an expense to your family. Because when you get back home, that's where you're going to even put on the original face. You've put on a plastic smile for the whole day. And now the whole stress is going to get back to your kids and wife. Prophet is like, no. Have the discipline of making sure they are not directly affected with something they are not even part of. Now, because today our own ladies are also working, don't you really think it applies to them too? It does. Because as a working lady, you need a discussion with your man to make sure he helps you into being an effective wife. Now, I understand I'm not going to give direct examples. That's what you want. Please, as an effective wife, you have to do this, you cook, you learn the board. Those are individual differences. It's none of my business. The principle is one. Make sure you're positioned in your role. If you're a man, be a man. If you're a woman, be a woman. There is no competition. We don't need it. Respect ladies because that is them. You don't need to abuse them. You don't need to belittle them because that is their dimension. You will never reason like one Okuja Konga, you are going to be like the other people. Have you understood the other people? Yes. If you start behaving like them, it is a threat to your morality. The same applies with a lady. There is no competition. It's okay. Just be a woman who is rich. Just be a woman who is understanding. Just be a woman who is just okay. Now, the reason as to why I envy these ladies, their whole positions impact societies. They are not like us. They are our mothers. Haven't you heard of traditions where the prophet is like, you are supposed to love mothers thrice as compared to a dad? You know that tradition? Do you know what it means? Prophet was not basically giving you entitlement that you've not worked for. He was speaking from a point of view for what real mothers do for their kids. Now today it's not happening and you want to be loved thrice. It's the one reason as to why the whole Quran and authentic narrations from the Prophet, you're not going to find a tradition teaching a kid to love, teaching a parent to love their offspring. Because it is pretty obvious. That is the originality. You give birth to a kid, you love them obviously. Actually, if you don't love your son and daughter, you're the anomaly, you're abnormal. Go for mental checkup. Because you're just designed to love your offspring. But the whole narrations and Quranic verses are onto your offspring, your son and daughter, a young one. Even when you're going to inform them that, my son, I remember when you were still young, you used to cry. You even urinated on me. On an occasion, wallahi, he or she doesn't remember. Chances are high. If he doesn't have the discipline of respecting you as a parent, he is going to disrespect you. Whatever you're putting out as history, he doesn't have them on mind. Now that's what Islam is like. Please, as an offspring, respect your parents. Please, ihsana, please respect your parents. Make sure you don't shout at them. Make sure you treat them like it's because Allah knows. Because we have unserious parents, what you invest in the offsprings is what you yield out of them. Now, Prophet being like a mother is loved thrice. There is no tradition that is like a father is loved thrice. They are loved thrice because Allah in the Holy Quran was like, حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ. The reason as to why they are elevated when it comes to loving them, actually scholars were like loving them technically meaning caring for your mothers, providing for them more. The problem is whenever we say providing, all of you think of money, but providing is vast. There is money, even your mother is not interested in your money. She's in the 80s and 70s going to meet the Creator. She doesn't want your money. To do what? Providing your time. Providing statements of comfort. Like, mother, please, thank you for harboring us. We are disciplined because you invested in time to make us this. Your wife has no skill to even teach the 5-year-old, the 3-year-old, into a good citizen of this country. You're smiling as a father. Instead of sitting down and helping her to make sure that role is not manipulated, because chances are high, there is no drive that is training you to be good mothers. Is there any? There is no. Feminism, women emancipation, being mothers, even when you're a single mother, bridal showers, okay. We don't know the father of the kid, but we need to be happy for you to make sure you're having a cake on your bridal shower, we are happy, and then we go back. Come on, that is built on immorality. Our society is designed to make sure whenever a lady is pregnant, there is a responsible man waiting, yearning to protect and provide for her. Now, if at all it is not happening that way, there is a problem. You don't just celebrate that. You sit down and rectify the problem instead of chevaito okwekaza. What is okwekaza in English? Drying yourself. You technically have a story that is not right. Instead of putting the story right, you're trying to just create false happiness out of it. It doesn't work that way. Now, basically being a mother, and wallahi al-azim, we are okay with that. Let them take up the 3 accolades. It's okay, let's take 1. And the other issue is, it would be very easy for the kids to understand that fathers are doing a lot because they are providing. The effort of a lady would go unnoticed. That's why Prophet was like, let them be loved thrice. Now, when your young kid is seeing a father coming home with a polythene bag, you're there from morning to evening, you're breastfeeding, chances are high, because he or she is still young, they might be influenced to think that father is too much important and mother is not doing everything, because we are designed like that. We don't value what we have, we value what we want. Now, Prophet is like, we don't want the efforts of a lady to go unnoticed. Let them be loved thrice, and then a man comes in the 4th position. Now, how many ladies are actually doing to make sure they deserve to be loved thrice? When even your kid stopped breastfeeding on your milk, at what? Wamuleka miezi emeka? 3 months. Because your boss the leave is over. Now you leave this young one with a maid, you pump, because technology is there, you pump the milk, you are okay, you don't have issues biologically. You have your milk in the breast, gakuluma no kuluma. But now you pump, you put in the fridge. This young boy, breastfeeding in Islam is not for only fooling the belly of the little one. You're missing out connection with your blood. Now, you would be a failure as a mother 20 years from now if your kid has no discipline of respecting you as a mother, even when you're riding a nice car. Now, Islam just wants to remind you. It's like, no, come on. Don't lose track. Buy that car. Fix time to give your little one. I have my friends, my trainees, and I'm actually proud of them. It's a group of 5 girls, clever, working, but they prioritized giving time when they got pregnant, giving time to their born kids, and then they are to resume their businesses after some time. And what confuses me is, even a lady that is under a providing man would be on tension desperately to find something to do. True or false? Because the society is training us to be that. Please find something, find something, find something, find something. It's not the matter of finding something. Find something as a result of actually doing that something, giving it the whole energy, not just being desperate of doing that. Now, as a mother, they are respected. As sisters, they are respected because they are the reasons as to why the parents are going to even enter Jannah. Not you. The Prophet was like, if any parent has a daughter, or maybe 2, and they invest into just nurturing them to be good, responsible citizens, it's hard to raise a girl child uncompromised. To get to 25 years and they are still virgins, in this Uganda. Actually, those parents, we need to give them awards. This sexualized society. In P7, she's being disturbed. In senior 4, she's being disturbed. In senior 6, she's being disturbed because the society is sexualized. Even on television, she's watching sexualized content. But even with those realities, she's still uncompromised. Prophet is like, me and those parents, we are going to be like this in Jannah. It only works on them. For you as a man, if you're too unserious to that level, the world is going to teach you the right way. That's why we don't even waste a lot of time on you. You abuse your elders, you don't respect elders, you reason like a younger boy. It's okay, you're still in your early 20s. 30 is coming. There is also 40. Even if 50 is coming, by the time you click 50, without having anyone calling you husband, that's when you will understand that you are a failure as a man. Maybe getting to 50, when your firstborn is in top class, graduate, that's when you will understand that I wasted a lot of time as a young man, instead of actually being responsible. Now, because I'm in the Acholi region, as I'm winding up, because time is up, because I'm in this region, our African society has its own way of graduating us men. An 18-year-old man 50 years back is not our 18-year-old man today. True or false? The 18-year back then had the skills of hunting, had the skills that you don't even term that work. The only work you understand is the work of having an office, going to the job and coming back. To you, that is work. Now, the hunting, the whole coordination they had, you don't even term it as work. The 18 years that side, they had skills of hunting. Do you know what it means, hunting a cob in a jungle? A cob that runs. Do you really think your sciences are not the same like the sciences then? Just strategizing to capture a cob for your wife and kids to eat, it meant you had to. They were clever men. At 18, they have families. At 20, they have sons. At 30, they are grandfathers. Successful men. There is you of 30 today. Actually, 25. All you know is game. You are a man, but all you know, video games, What else? You are unbothered actually. You are okay at 25 Okumanga, you don't even have no skill. And I'm sure at university, after you're done with university at 23, 25, there is also some years there of looking for what to do. Because we are in Uganda, like me. There are those years you don't know what to do, like, what should I do? 5, if you're less unlucky. You're now 30. You get a job where you're earning 500. You have to actually collect some money because marrying is not for free. Maybe you're immoral and you're going to sleep around with ladies, you have some kids there illegally. We are not discussing you. We are discussing a man who is serious, who wants a family, a legal family. At 30, you're limited in funds. Time is now going. There is even death. At 30, you die. You die single. And when I remember the prophet, the hadith prophet's narration, Ibn Abbas narrates that the prophet naha anil wihda. Prophet discouraged us to find felicity in being single. Because there is no way you're going to proceed and live well in this world as a single man. Now put aside the biological satisfaction, Simanya, I want to sleep with this lady, I want to sleep with my man. That is just childish. Emotions, you're just normal. Man and woman, you have feelings, it's okay. But that presence of a wife and presence of a husband is unmatched. You need a figure in that. Imagine building a house where you don't even have someone calling you a dad and you have the possibility of getting one. Imagine attaining all you're attaining and no one is even respecting you for a wife. Now that's not peace. And these whole drives are trying to portray this picture for us. It is good, just work, like it's like life is just about earning good, lots of money, building buildings, like buildings, and no, life is beyond that. That is just a dimension of it. There is also the family setup, just being in a family, and you know there are some people that are just praying for you to be okay. Mentally it works for you. Just having a reason to live tomorrow. Now when you see a young man riding a boda boda just like in movies, they are single. They are single. If you have a younger kid who is waiting for you to call papa at home, you would ride that bicycle as a man who is responsible. Because your wife is on you, your kids are on you. Actually, you've not even prepared for them. You're thinking for them. You're like, oh Allah, if I'm to die, I'm not going to put a reason for me to die. I will die when it is urgent. But for me to put a reason, I will not. You will ride it properly. You go, they call you papa. You charge for the next day. You go and work again. That's the energy you want. May Allah grant those who want that energy in your life. If you don't want it, it is okay. May Allah also make you comfortable in your world. Because it is a free world. If you want it, you get it. If you don't want it, Allah is not going to bring it to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the best. I think we've discussed and had guidance from the Islamic wisdom when it comes to this whole gender story. Let's respect our genders. Just because there is this one lady who was not nice to you doesn't necessarily mean all ladies are evil. Come on, that is stereotyping. There are some beautiful souls out there. Be good. Be good to make sure you at least respect them. Yes, stop those stereotyping. And just because you had this one man who was irresponsible, because today, matter of fact, irresponsible men are many, and it's those men that you use to define all of us. Now, chances are high, if you get in touch with them, please, they don't define, they don't represent all men. That is stereotyping. It is basically your experience. Mature, outgrow that reality, and you're like, there are some good people out there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide those who are single here to make sure you get your fellow partners who match your energy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide marriage to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable you into being responsible men. Now, we are casually now having a discussion because we're going to have a Q&A out of this session alone before we have another one. Our challenges today are kind of unique when it comes to our family setup. I remember last week I was somewhere in a certain conference and summit. There was that notion of my money is my money and your money is our money. So basically meaning the money for the ladies is only for them, and your money as a man is for all of you. But now Islam also guides. You don't own their money, you own their provision. Do you know the difference? Islam is a religion that respected the right of ownership. Your wife doesn't own your money. All she wants from your money is provision. That is a key factor to note. Had it been a reality, the Islamic law of inheritance wouldn't have been relevant. But as you die, that's when they take up your money. But when you're still alive, it's your money. But as a man, make sure you take good care of your family and provide for them. And ladies, don't get lost into the money story. Even when a man is having lots of money, it's not guaranteed that he is going to provide it to you. The discipline of providing is not an easy discipline, most especially to someone who has. Now it hits different when a man is already having these lots of money and they don't have the discipline of giving it to you. So Islam is like, no, prioritize the getting that provision from the man. And lastly, if at all this gender war story is addressed, it will help. Now from today onwards, chill out the hatred. There is no need. Just make sure the ladies in your circle are sensible, and make sure the men in your circle are also sensible, to just get done with chances of getting attracted to people who are unserious. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put sensible people into your circles. Allahumma ameen. Thank you for indulging me, and I think let's say bye to the recorded clip, and I want us to have questions out of what we've discussed this hour, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.